Welcome back to Breakfast Television. Today is Pink Shirt Day, a day to wear pink in support of standing up against bullying. And there is still a lot of work to do when it comes to stopping the problem. Deinera Exner-Cortens joins us to talk about just how prevalent bullying still is. Deinera is an associate professor from the Faculty of Social Work at the University of Calgary. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So why don't we just sort of start at the beginning and remind everybody what exactly is bullying?
Yeah, so we usually define bullying by three key features. So one is intent, it's intentional behavior. Two is that it's often repeated. And three, and really importantly, there's some kind of power difference between the person using bullying behavior and the person being bullied.
Okay.
So in the case of Pink Shirt Day, it was because of what somebody was wearing. It could be because of the language they speak, who they love. There's lots of different reasons, but some kind of power imbalance.
Okay. So how common is bullying these days? Because we have been talking about it now more than ever.
Yeah, so we know that rates of bullying in Canada are still unfortunately high. Rates of bullying in Canada are higher than 2/3 of OECD countries. So although we're making progress, there's still lots for us to do. And we know that youth aged 11 to 15, about 15% of them will experience chronic bullying.
Wow, that's disheartening. So, but there's lots of things we can do, including
Absolutely.
Pink Shirt Day. So that's a great place to start.
Yeah.
Can you tell us just a little bit about Pink Shirt Day?
Sure. So Pink Shirt Day started in 2007 in Nova Scotia. It's a youth-led initiative. So two young men asked their friends to wear pink shirts because someone had been bullied, a boy had been bullied on the first day of school for wearing pink.
Oh.
So really exciting that it's youth-led, and it's really just grown since then and has come to represent being kind, showing respect, and standing up against bullying.
Well, those are all great things, isn't
Yes.
it? Yeah, that's terrific. Okay, so now what is it when it comes to bullying that affects people for so long afterward?
Right. So I think, research on why is still going on, but we do know that it has long-lasting impacts potentially on physical and mental health. And we do want to be careful. Just because your child is bullied doesn't mean they will have bad outcomes.
Right.
But overall, we do see that bullying has long-lasting impacts on health. And so if you've experienced bullying, you should absolutely feel well within your right to reach out for help and support.
Okay. And what does that help and support look like? Can it just be talking to your parents? Can it talking to your friends? Or does it actually mean like talking to someone in the mental health field?
It could be any of those things, whatever fits the situation. So I think sometimes people will tell kids just fight back yourself and stand up, but that's actually really not the best way to go because bullying is a relationships problem between two people, and so we need to address what's going on in the relationship, especially for the child using bullying and why they're using that behavior. And so the best thing that you can do is tell an adult that you trust that this is going on, and then work with them to get the support that you need, and then also to get support for the child who's using the bullying behavior.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So in your opinion, what would be sort of that basic advice? So if your child, for example, comes to you and says, Mom, this guy's really bugging me at school, or this girl's saying this to me, what should I do? What would that first line bit of advice be for a parent?
So first validate that it's going on, that it's not just a normal part of childhood, they're not just teasing, that your child is really upset by this.
Right.
Find out a little bit more, what's going on, what's being said, how often is it happening, and then at that point, if it's going on at school, we'd really recommend you reach out and connect with school personnel who hopefully have a policy in place to deal with bullying behavior.
Okay. So is it important for the child to try to address that first, or is it really just about going to that trusted adult?
Because of the power difference, we would really encourage the child to reach out to an adult because they're already in a relationship where they're likely have less power, and so it's going to be really hard for them to kind of fight back, and so that's why we don't really recommend that. We recommend going to an adult and working with them to help find a solution for the situation.
Well, that's great advice. Okay, terrific. So now what about the online world? Because there's so much going on when it comes to bullying online. It's so different now than it was when you and I were growing up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we know, cyberbullying is a really pressing issue for a lot of Canadian children and youth. So we focus on teaching digital citizenship, what good online behavior looks like. But again, if you're experiencing bullying, make sure to note when it's happening, try to take screenshots, that kind of thing, so that you have some evidence of what's going on, but generally just showing good digital citizenship, being careful with passwords, and if things are going on, not necessarily taking away devices, because for a lot of children and youth, that's their connection to other kids, and so then you're actually punishing the child who's experiencing bullying. So working with them, putting on privacy settings, safety settings, to make it a safe place, boundaries is really important. Yeah.
Thank you so much for all of this great advice.
Yeah.
And do we say Happy Pink Shirt Day?
Yes, be kind. Spread kindness.
Spread kindness.
Yes.
I like that message. Thank you so much for being here, Deinera.
Thanks for having me.